Okay, so we're going to go through the last section. We're going to put a strip down the bottom of our website, add another what's called subfooter, and we're going to do social media icons. So part of that is called iconography, which is actually a study, and it's used lots in web design. You would often see these little type symbols here on web design. It's usually a way of summarizing information and providing a visual cue. Okay, so there are heaps. Again, if you go to our toolkit, where's the actually no, I'll open this browser here. Under image and iconography, there's actually a heap of icon generators here, favicons, flat icon and font awesome are the main ones. We're actually going to integrate font awesome into our website. Okay, so that's a whole repository of icons, and we're specifically going to be looking for social media icons, and we're going to style them, and this is where you're going to learn lots of things. Now with font awesome, there's some paid ones and free ones. We only have access to the free ones, and there's a special. I've already gone and got you access to the CDN. So these ones here are the ones you can use. So the first things first, we actually need to integrate it into our site. And so if you go to the collaboration folder, Bootstrap, I'll put it in here. There's a font awesome kit. There's a text document. Please don't delete this. You just grab that, Control C, and then that needs to be placed in the header of your website. So obviously I'm going to do a comment. Okay, I just paste that little script there, and that means I can now use these icons. The next thing is I need to make a container for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh a couple of things. Sometimes when you're grabbing it, you're using copy-paste. Always remember, a class is something you want to apply lots of times. So the best way to think of a class is like a classroom. There are lots of classrooms. They're all a bit different, but it's something when you want to apply a class, you're saying, I want to apply these rules repeatedly. You can only have on a page one ID. You can't have two footers. So if I'm actually just going to save a bit of time and copy and paste this. So I want to copy that, and I want to copy the close, and so I need to start lower footer container, end lower footer container, and I need to give this a new ID. Okay, so that way I can target that. So it cannot be the same ID. But I can leave that same class, going to repeat that, okay? And I'm going to add a class which is text center, because I want them in the middle. Makes it nice and easy. Now remember as well, notice this, there's no spaces. So some of you, when you were doing this before, actually put text space center. You need to do text dash center. Sorry? I am recording it. Yeah. And I'm now going to put my icons in. So I'm going to go to the font awesome. I'm going to choose, I want Facebook. Oh, it's going to slow. I want Facebook. I want Facebook Square. So it'll actually just give me a little I-code. And so all I need to do is copy this. Oops, copied. I want Facebook. And then I want, I'm going to be pretty traditional here. We'll go Instagram. And let's do, have I got Snapchat? Snapchat. Okay, so I've got these three icons. And I want this one. Now these icons are actually using a vector image. So they're really efficient to load. So it's a very small file. It's not an image, it's a vector image. So it's not like a JPEG. It's actually instructions for what the file should look like. We'll learn about that more later. I'm going to save that. And I'm going to go to my website, the website, and go F5 to load that. And this stage we have it down there, but I think they're white.
No, they're
Oh no, they're tiny. Sorry, yeah, they're there. Sorry, my cursor was right. So you see them down here. So we now need to size them. So once you've got them in, everything is now done with CSS. So let's just open that. I think there's a space here that I want to get rid of. So get rid of that and Control S. 5. They are tiny. Yep, there they are. They're nice and grouped together. Now, I need to apply some CSS. So I'm going to target that was lower footer, wasn't it? So that way I'm only targeting those. I'm going to target the I class. So the I tag. So they're in here. Where are they? They're in an I. Okay. So I, and first of all, I want size, and we're going to do a pixel size. I'm going to say, so you play with this yourself. Okay. I'll start around 24px. Control S. Let's go back and save that. Oh, it might be height. It might not. Oh, nope. Not size. Font size. What am I doing? Font size. Because it's classified as a font. So we've gone a little bit bigger. I think we still want to be bigger still. So let's now go 60px. I now want them to be a color. So I'm going to do color. I'm going to make them white. I actually want this lower footer to have its own background, so I'm going to target. Actually, I'll just copy this. I'm going to target that ID, and I want this to be dark blue. I don't want that. I don't need that. Control S. So it's now. We haven't gone the white. Oh no, I haven't. Semicolon. Got to apply that. So we now have white icons in the background, but now we're going to do spacing. Now this is going to be a little bit confusing. One of the things that web designers deal with all the time. It's padding and margin. Now a box, every time you have a div, it's a box. Padding pushes it in. Margin pushes everything out. Is the way to remember this. And it's often something you play with a lot. You might have too many problems when you're working on this website, but later on it's something that you've really got to get your head around. So I need to provide some spacing.
So can we just like say center?
It is centered.
No, like a little bit, we have the left, right, and left, right.
So you want them as separated across the page?
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do that, I would I'd use a row. I'd do it by HTML. I'd have a row, and I'd have 3 columns, and that would automatically center within that. But I want them in the centers that are easy to go to. So I'm going to apply. The first thing I'm going to do is apply margin. Oops, margin. Now there's a couple of different ways you can apply margin. I can go margin. Let's do 16px, and that will apply margin 16 pixels all the way around. I'll go F5. As you can see, it's now created a little margin there. Okay, but you might want to do more in the middle. So what you got to remember, margin goes top, right, bottom, left. So I'm going to go back. My margin, I want margin at the top to be 16px, and on the sides I want 12px. So that will mean when I do it like this, I will have 16px on the top and bottom, and I have 12px left and right. And I shall make it a little bit more obvious because that is a bit, let's put 6px, so it's just a little bit. So that will have them narrower. So you can actually, again, with your designs, I'm just showing you how to do this. Don't copy me, you've got to come up with your own design based off this. Okay, so again, see that a little bit narrower. I can even go a little bit more specific, and I'm now going to go, I want 16px at the top, I want 8px at the bottom, and I want 3px on the left. Okay, so it goes clockwise. Does that make sense? So you can apply this all like that. Let's go back, F5, and again, see you've got these different margins. Okay, so you've got to play with the margins of yours. You're going to play with colours. You're going to choose your own icons. Now let's say I want this now to link to Twitter, to Facebook. What am I going to put around those A tags? What am I going to put around those I tags? Sorry? Href. Thank you. I can simply go around that in my HTML. I will go. I want to do Facebook. I put I do an A class. Href equals facebook.com. Now for the exercise of this project, that link doesn't actually need to go to something on Facebook. Just do a hyperlink to facebook.com. Okay, it doesn't matter that it goes to a dev page, but it's showing me you know how to hyperlink something. Afterwards, I then close it off, save it. Let's reload, F5, and that now becomes a link to Facebook. Okay, actually I should have put the HTTP. It's done a localized link, so I need to make sure I put in HTTPS, put a full URL. Now when I reload it, that becomes a link that will take you off to Facebook. Okay? So I want you to apply those. The last video is going to be how to create pages and how to create additional pages. And then there's a few more elements of Bootstrap you might want to bring in your web design. So the focus should be now starting to make this design your design. So I've given you a framework. We're going to add where this placeholder text is, we're going to add some thumbs in there. That basically builds on skills we've already got. It's quite quick. I'll actually pretty much have that mocked up for you and just show you. So actually start to make sure your colors, your designs, how you think about stuff, how you're laying stuff out is personalized and designed for you. Okay? So thanks for that. Off you go.